Come on. Run, Froggy. Run, Froggy.
Okay.
Oh, it's not run.
All right.
Are we live? Let's go.
What's the link?
Better share that link.
It's a RugRoast. Please get smoked. You come with the real or you end up toast. RugRoast. Yeah, it's a RugRoast. Where we poking the beer, we ride the bull, burning the cheese to
Little cheese.
Wait. There we go. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm just sharing this link. OG, you want to kick it off?
Yo, welcome everybody. We're super hyped this week. As you know, we've been having guests on the show each week to help us interview projects. We were going to have Lox join this week, and both Farokh and Lox decided it would be a great opportunity for us to dig into Rug Radio, obviously the leading Web3 platform. I'm going to be open with my bias. I met Farokh last year early and Loxley in Paris this year. And since then, going to be honest, we've become really close. And so I'll do my best to be objective. But, like many, Farokh, when I first had heard of him last year, is obviously a big name in the space. And at the time was more controversial. And I'll say I'm going in with a bias that both these dudes are wonderful people. And I know personally from spending a lot of time with them that we all make mistakes. I've made many. And I just think you'll see today how committed and focused these two are. So with that, what we're going to do is first, let's start with the basics. Farokh, why don't you tell us a little bit? Farokh's riding the Pepe, so he's fucking excited. So I get it. It's also Cinco de Mayo. You can, if you're online, you can see Burn Dog's amazing fucking lid. And
Yeah, I got the sombrero.
Drinking Loxley has some sick tequila. I
need a Corona or something. Hold on, let me go get a beer.
Yeah, get a beer. So I am casting today. My internet went out, so I'm casting from my brother's house. And I have my lovely lady is about to deliver some Pacifico for me to celebrate. So super excited. I think this is a wonderful opportunity. We're going to take the approach of starting with the basics. So, as I like to do of what's happening. So, Lox and Farokh are both grabbing beers. Oh, yeah, come in. Okay, come in.
Guys, it's just me. I don't know what to do. I'm scared.
Okay, hold on.
Anyways, I got this cup from Cozumel. I got a Paloma in
here.
here.
I guess, did Binance just picked up Pepe? And a lot of our, I stupidly do not own Pepe. I own some other shit coins, but a lot of our friends and Farokh here own a fair amount of Pepe. So Pepe, I think, just got listed on Binance. Is that right?
Yeah, dude, I sold my Pepe at 1. We'll just call it 1 because I don't know what that many zeros is. But dude, I still made like a
cheers
20x on it, but I sold it. But
okay, let's dig in. We can get Farokh next. Loxley.
Yo.
Fewer people maybe is aware of your history and role. What I'd love to do is, why don't you give us just a brief overview of what you did before NFTs, then quickly how you got into NFTs and how you got into your current position as co-CEO of Rug.
Yeah. So super quickly, I started my career in fintech as an entrepreneur and a founder out of university. Well, while in university, founded a small fintech company that we went on to build and then exit, and kind of gave me a little bit of a platform to start focusing on my true passion, which was VC, and really just building businesses, funding businesses, and doing a little bit of the distressed asset game. What I really focused on for a bunch of years was building cash flow positive, fundamentally sound businesses, doing some turnarounds on distressed assets, and really focusing on none of the speculative like unicorn stuff. Really focusing on the wealth preservation side and just incremental growth. And so I did that for a number of years. 2017, I had a friend who I had bought Bitcoin with in 2013 who convinced me to get into mining, Ethereum mining. So we funded a small GPU mining farm. And that was kind of like the first steps and legs where I truly started to understand.
What year was that?
Late 2017.
Okay.
So started stacking ETH and Bitcoin, then ended up becoming a bit of an ETH maxi. Converted almost everything that I had into ETH, and then ERC20s through altcoin season. Did DeFi summer and all that stuff. I was slow to adopt the JPEGs and NFTs. Had listened to Farokh and the rest of the gang on Clubhouse.
How were you first how were you first find Farokh?
Clubhouse, man. So we were sitting during the pandemic. My wife and I had bought a cannabis farm in Northern California, and we moved out there during the early pandemic, like March 2020. And we would listen to Clubhouse on when that launched, listen to it. We'd be sitting on the farm overlooking our crop, and we'd listen to all these Clubhouse spaces. Super cool. Our boys, we have young boys, and so we built a playground out there on the farm, and they'd be playing, and the dog would be running around, and we'd just be listening to podcasts and Clubhouse. Found these guys, and then what happened was obviously we listened to all the ape shit happen, and I just didn't quite understand it because I was still taking myself very too seriously with DeFi because I have a finance background, and I just didn't quite understand it. Then October 2021, November, my wife's like, hey, Farokh and those guys are doing this thing called Rug Radio. And I was like, eh. And I kind of faded a little bit. Then I started to listen, and I heard them talk about tokenomics. I heard them talk about the potential of building a real business that was more than just JPEGs and IP. And I was like, and of course it clicked with me, right? It's like, oh, fuck, this is an opportunity for one of these NFT projects to truly become fundamentally sound, to actually have operational revenue, to actually build a business around this. And I was like, I can invest in that. And it was truly the first time in NFTs that I looked at myself not as a consumer. This probably isn't safe to say. I looked at myself not as a consumer and more as an investor in this ecosystem because I really thought that this ecosystem could provide some kind of value. And it wasn't just buying pictures and hoping that it would get me onto a yacht or into a club with Steph Curry or something.
So did you buy Rug? Did you buy RDAO? What did you buy?
We started sweeping up member passes. We started before they
it was before the mint. It was a free mint. It was time.
Okay, and then did you meet Farokh in that process?
So I became part of the community. We had very casual back and forth a little bit in the Discord and all of that between him and some of the other team members. I didn't meet Farokh until after the mint. So we met in person for the first time at South by Southwest, which was about 2 months after Rug had minted. But there was a period of time during trying to establish the voting process for the DAO Council. I was also a DAO maxi. I've been a DAO maxi for a long time. It's an uphill battle that we're fighting with DAOs, but it just was one of those.
We'll talk about that today.
Oh, for sure. And I knew there was going to be a lot of friction for a long time, but I really believe long term in the potential of this new governance structure. So Mel had asked for help. They needed some help establishing this process, and I put my team from my firm on it, and we started providing help. And Mel said, "Hey, how much do you guys want to get paid?" And I wasn't interested in getting paid. I said, I just want to create value because I believe in this. And from there, the conversation started to get a little bit more organic. I was a nobody, and Farokh was grateful apparently for the contributions that we had made. And so there was multiple stages and spaces where he shouted out Loxley and his crew who thank you for helping do some stuff. Sure. And somehow or another ended up on the DAO Council. And then there's a whole new story that progresses. It's extremely organic progression through.
So when did you take the role as co-CEO?
Officially January 1st of this year. So just 5 months ago.
Yo, can I tell Loxley's story quick?
Yeah.
All right. So I've been in the council, or I was in the council originally, in the DAO the whole time. But I would see Loxley posting stuff and explaining it. in the council chat, and I was just like, holy fuck, this dude's smart. Like, I've known you for a long time, but I was like damn, like this dude's good. That's my story. Continue.
Thank you. You're generous.
What a story.
Riveting. Riveting.
What a story.
What a fucking story.
Incredible.
You guys want me to do some more?
No, please.
His poor
Farokh. Farokh. So what I'd love to is quickly the same. Obviously, you're well known in the space, but I always think it's a great chance when we have guests on to kind of go back to the basics. So why don't you tell us a little bit about pre-NFTs, kind of your background, how you were drawn into NFTs, and how you ended up both in the position you're in now and as CEO of starting and being CEO of Rug Radio.
Wow, it's long. I mean, it goes back like what almost.
It's a crib sheet, elevator pitch, 3 to 4 minute version.
No, I love that. It goes way back in a city called Paris in February 7th, 1994, where I was born. Okay, Loxley's like, hey yo, yeah, I was born in a city. No, but it's but you know, it goes all the way back to like how like I got into social media early, and I was always like hooked onto it when I was.
How did you first get on social media?
It was honestly like my first experience with social media was when I turned 12 years old. It was like Facebook when it first came out, and then just seeing how it developed through like they started the wall or like the DM and like the fucking stuff, and then the memes started being created for the first time. The troll face, the original one. Remember like the whole like the little kid with the fist like that. You would write like top text, bottom text type memes. Like that was the original stuff. So during those days, and then like obviously Tumblr, like that Tumblr era was like that Tumblr era built some of the like craziest like memers in this even to this day. Like in fact, a lot of people like have like this Tumblr like background in the space, which I love. And then like Xcopy actually is one of them. Xcopy started off like posting his work on Tumblr.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, like more than 10 years ago. Xcopy was on Tumblr probably like same era as me, but I didn't know of him. I never crossed paths. But like he still has his Tumblr, and you can check it out, and he still uses it. But that's where he used to post his work originally, like way back. But anyways, up onto Instagram for like 8 years, like built a business out of that, like boutique agency, you know, branding, marketing, communication strategy, and all that shit for a bunch of brands. Where I built my personal brand as well. Then COVID hit, Clubhouse.
How many followers did you have on Instagram at that point?
I built a network of 10 million followers in 24 months in between November 2014 and 10 million. And we were doing, so it was 10 to 15 million followers specifically with regards to like a luxury niche, and then multiple other niches. And then like the global reach though was like in the hundreds of millions, because like I would partner with a bunch of different people and their assets and then like sell advertising on their IP without necessarily owning the page, right? Like I was just the one like kind of like getting putting money in a lot of people's pockets, to be honest. Like, you know, like so it's so it was starting.
Just because I think it's important to see why you've been so successful. What is it that you think allowed you, or what is it that you did different, or what collection of things? Because it's never one thing. Like I drank orange juice, you know. What are the things you think that allowed you to differentiate in such a material way?
It's just, I guess, like the consistency and the relentlessness. Like my homie, like he's part of that old game I was in, like IG, like, you know, agency work and stuff. And he's like, he calls me the most consistent man in business. So he always called me for like 8 years. Like I'm consistent as fuck. Like, you know, like, and Lox knows, you guys know, you guys are tight. I mean, Bernie is part of the team. Like, it's just like I just go. I just go nowhere I'm. Like I come up here, I'm not home. I bring my roadcaster, everything I've been on since 9 a.m, from creator calls to shows to meetings to more business to like, you know, doing my thing. And it's just like that. And it's just that I think differentiates me from a lot, because a lot of people come and go, but not very often like people actually stay.
It's got to be too more than that a little bit, bud, because a lot of people show up every day in this game. So what else is it? Because I do think you have a unique personality or way of interacting. When you look at how you're able to open these doors, is there anything else you can share that you think has allowed you? Because no doubt consistency is critical, but I think there's more you do. Can I get all these people?
Maybe Lox can answer that for me, because I don't like.
I can speak for him.
Yeah, Lox, hit me.
Legitimately, this is one of the things, and I tell this. I told Keith Grossman this last week. If I had to go back for the past 10 years and determine how much money I've spent on marketing, it's in the millions, right? Farokh sees things and understands things in a way on a cultural level that most people don't. So let's talk really quickly, not about Pepe coin, right? But like about Pepe and this Matt Fury thing. I don't know if people realize like there's the power of mimetic culture and mimetic desire, of course,
Yeah, it's huge.
is crazy. Farokh understands it innately. And because of that, like this sounds like I'm just dick riding, but because of that, he's massively visionary because he understands the underlying causes of why people do the things that they do.
Okay.
I think you just hit the nail on the head, and I appreciate that because it's sometimes really hard for myself to like see it because it's just like I'm not faking. I'm just like I genuinely don't. Sometimes I just like go because I'm used to waking up doing the same thing every day. It's like more than like if they say it's 21 days to build a habit, I'm 10 years in. Actually, I'm 12 years in. So I'm 2.5 years into Web3 and like 10 years in Web 2, like literally 10 years, 2011 to 2020. And like the thing is, I guess what that superpower was like, I'm really good at like those memes of production that people are trying to seize. We're good at creating them and catching them and distributing them and being proud of them. And so I'm being able to be this propeller culture, but like it's hard to do, right? Like there's only so like I look up to someone like God rest his soul, Virgil. I looked up to now it's you can't say that because I don't look up to the new Ye, but like you used to look up to the old Ye with like energy, the Pharrell Williams of this world, like this my superheroes, you know, Nigo, like Jeff Staple, like those people are like you know that those like culture makers. So it's just like I was always good at determining like seeing the meme and then partaking like from Facebook. Like when I was like 15 years old, I made a meme page for my school called Say MF Memes, like college, like my school's name memes. Remember, like every school, every high school had their meme page. I was the anon behind my school's meme page. Out of 800 students, the page had 800 followers. And I was anonymous until the end because I would have gotten kicked out of school if they knew I was me behind the meme page.
Got it.
And then, but it was always things like that, like little things, like COVID. Like when COVID hit, March 13th, 2020, I was in Miami at Soho Beach Club. I was told that I had to go back to Canada. I'd be stuck in the United States. And it was like euphoria. People were scared. Like no more toilet paper up in this shit. Like there's nothing going on. I had to go back to Canada. But like in the meantime, because we were bored, my friend, we started a meme page called Quarantine 2020, which was the first meme page on COVID. And it was like 200,000 followers in 13 days. And I just abandoned it because it was just like for fun, like a project. So it's like just seeing those things, like NFTs, like unlike like some friends of mine that went slow at it. And in February 18th, 2021, when I learned about it, I just go in all in. Like I just nothing else I wanted to do in my life. I still don't do anything else but that. Like, I'm not interested.
Okay, I feel you on that. I'm full time here too. So Rug Radio, what's the genesis of the idea and a quick brief history of how you started it? I know from the beginning, we've touched on it. There's been a few sort of key transition points. I think the loss of maybe the tech team and some other things. What I'd love is from your perspective, Farokh, when you actually started it, the original intent, and a very short summary of sort of the big successes and the big kind of failures or challenges to date.
Yeah, damn, we're about to slowly get to the roast. I'm excited. I'm really waiting for the roast. You know,
we can accelerate. We're almost there. We got 41 minutes at least, so we got time, bro.
I got the Stella on the street,
and we won't roast you. I'm just gonna ask you some questions to get your real answer, but we gotta warm you up a little bit.
I like it. I'm hot, bro. Especially on a day like today, bro. I'm going crazy. Anyways, you know, Rug Radio started off the idea of a Twitter space, right? We were on Twitter Spaces September 2021. It was like 10-hour long space because I used to do this too. Like I would go on for 10, 12, 14 hours a day. I didn't care. I would just go. And like it was like thousands of people. Once I did 36 hours on Clubhouse, by the way. And like it was crazy. And then like what happened is that like someone in the space, as we were hosting, we kept getting rugged. Like the tech would crash, like Twitter Spaces just end, and your phone would turn purple and overheat. And some people with ice bags on their iPhones. It was really bad. But I would keep coming back, and I would call the space rugged and back. And I was like, wait, this like Rug Radio. I had already like grown in live social audio for a year at this stage. December 28, 2020 is when I started live social audio. I had already been doing it for 10 months. So at this stage, I already hosted like 300-400 shows. So I'm aware it's a new radio, new wave. It's like the greatest thing to have ever come out of social media is live social audio, but it's actually incredible. And so it was just like I had that. And then someone in the Discord, in the House of Farokh, that's what the Discord was called, that started 10 days before for my birthday, had written like, oh, it sucks I have to go to bed and not listen to this, because we were really like in a deep conversations. It was thousands of people. It was really like one of those like big convos, like Saturday night, peak bull market. We're talking about like what the blockchain tech can. It was one of those very educational ones. But then anyways, like the guy said, I gotta go. I'm like, wait, like, why can't we find a way for participants to get rewarded for listening? Like the 1,000 people down there for educating themselves on this beautiful technology that is life-changing, that is going to change everything, is at the cutting edge of technology and just like at the forefront of everything doing, like art, media, tech, like whatever, you name it. It's there, fashion, gaming. And so anyways, and then I was like, who wants to help me build this decentralized media ecosystem? Like I just shot the shit. And then a bunch of people raised their hands. That's when we got like first mail that matter for the tokenomic structure and this and that. Then we got into work and we built this event, like 4 or 5 person team. We took 2 months, then we launched a membership pass. A month later, we dropped the mint, like the mint where we sold 19,000 NFTs for 0.11 ETH, which was crazy, like sold out immediately. And then
that's the Rug Radio,
the Genesis NFT.
Genesis NFTs.
Yeah, so that's launched. And then
had you had Rug or RDAO at that point or no?
No, and then 2 weeks later, RDAO, and then fucking right away get into RDAO token, Rug token, and then after this Rug DAO, and then we launched the DAO within 3 months. Then within 6 months, was up and running with the council. Then within 12 months, which was December 28th, this last month, was this last December, which we're officially came in foundation, thanks to the help of everything Loxley's been doing with the help of Mike and everyone that's, they hooked us up with the right people to make that happen. And so yeah, man, so that's the stuff. But like in terms of big things, I mean, we've grown from like just me, a single individual creator with a crazy idea on stage, like 70 creators, 40 plus shows. I mean, different continents, different languages. Rug Radio China has 30,000 members. That's what people don't like get how big that is. I mean, shout out to Daniel. Yeah. We have Rug Radio France. This is 3 shows, AI, brand shows, and Comptoir Web 3, which I co-host as well with Nicolas and Guillaume. And we're working with, and like the brands that we've managed to host, whether it's the big Web 2 brands, whether it's like us, like Dot Swoosh, like Nike, breaking their like media silence on our stage. Like it was me that hosted the stage with them, right? Like, and it was crazy. It was an honor. It's the biggest honor of my life. Honestly, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm grateful forever for the people who made it happen. But like Nike to Adidas last week, to Hennessy CEO, and then to be able to also the OGs like Hayden Adams, Joe Lubin, like getting the support of someone like Joe, like that's telling you that like you're doing a good job and to keep going, like things like that. Like to me, like, I was like shaking when Loxley pulled up with Joe Lubin at Soho Grand, fucking New York City 2 weeks ago. I got there, I started shaking. I was like, what?
And for those that don't know who Joe Lubin is, he like built Ethereum with Vitalik.
Yeah, exactly.
Built that shit. Like
he's a founder of Consensus Software and Mesh, and they own MetaMask. But Infura and the MetaMask. But point being, like, it's just like from both sides. So that's really been the accomplishments, and then like being able to build a team that's really solid.
Just to stop for a minute, the original mission when you started, or if you ask yourself right now, what is it that? Why does Rug Radio exist? What's the mission of it? What's success? How do you measure if you're being successful as a company or as a leader at Rug Radio?
I mean, the goal of Rug Radio is to decentralize media and to give the narrative back to people. So
what does decentralized media actually mean?
I'm going to tell you right now. So basically, Rug Radio's, we launched it and we promised this progressive decentralization, because decentralization, and that word is not a gimmick at Rug Radio. It's not a buzzword. We're actually, that's our pet peeve. So our goal is to fully decentralize Rug Radio within 5 years. We're about what, a year and a half in? You guys have been part of it, right? Like what, 15 months in? And so it's been getting more and more decentralized, which the idea of Rug Radio, which was my idea at the beginning, OG, is I wanted to build something bigger than Farokh. Like I was always scared, even though I'm very young, it sounds funny, but like I was scared to plateau, and I was like 26, like a year ago, 2 years ago. I was like, I'm scared that one day I'm going to plateau and not being able to have something bigger than me. So it's like, I need to leave something bigger than Farokh in this space. Like this is big, and we need to build multiple Farokhs or people different than Farokh that are able to build something, inspire others, and then build this network effect. Because that's my goal. My goal is really to impact 1 billion people and make $1 billion. I've had this goal written down since I'm 14 years old. And I'm not ashamed of saying that. Like I don't talk about it a lot because I don't like people saying, oh, but that's been my goal since I'm 14 when I started my Tumblr. And I said, no matter what, I'm gonna get there through these mediums. And so now, for
curiosity, why did $1 billion and $1 billion come in your head? Do you remember? Just did.
Big, baby. Fuck 1 million people. And it's like
1 billion. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a politician. Then I wanted to become an attorney. Then I wanted to become like I just always loved this stuff, and I wanted to inspire people. And the internet allowed me to bring people into communities, but Web3 allowed me to reward them and to be able, through the network effect, to actually give back in a way that's more significant than a fucking follow back on Instagram. You feel me? And so the goal of Rug Radio is like within 5 years, we're decentralized, where Farokh slowly starts fading out, but that doesn't mean he's away. I'm still creator 001. I will always be the host of Gem Web3 or whatever the iterations of it will be within the next few years on Rug Radio. I will always be there as the founder and core contributor and team member. But that's why, like, I decided, like, right away when we were throwing the idea of having a co-CEO, like, I wasn't all like, oh, fuck this shit. I was like, actually, let's go. Like, let's do this, because it's not about me. Like, Rug Radio is Rug Radio. Farokh is Farokh, right? I'm the founder. I'm one of the biggest voices out there. But now we have Mando and Ovi as voices. You have Keyboard Monkey, and you have Michaela, and you have Deez, Trigger, and Sobi on the night show. And you have all the smaller creators. You have like the Janies, you have the Bernies and Ben, and like you have all these people, right? Like that are Rug Radio now. So it's really starting to work. So that's success for Rug Radio. Is really just that. Like,
Lox, did you have something you wanted to add, brother?
Yeah, look, there's for years I've been of like the firm opinion that unless you as a founder or a CEO can make yourself obsolete, you don't own a business, you own a job. And what we're trying to do at Rug Radio, what Farokh's trying to do, is go from a project to he created a job for himself. Now we're building a business, and there's something that transcends the business, and that truly is a paradigm shift and a movement. And aside from what we're trying to do, that's why you'll see at Rug Radio, one of the things that we always do, it doesn't matter if our outputs trickle down into the rest of the ecosystem outside of just Rug Radio. We want everybody to be able to benefit and learn from what we're doing. I'm not going to say it's like Elon Musk open sourcing all of the Tesla designs, but it's very similar. Like,
I mean, we're doing that. No, are we building?
Yeah.
Like, but for media, like, everybody can see our financials inside out. This Rug Radio is a freaking skeleton. Just people don't look. Like, our wiki has everything. So we are doing that.
We're going to dig into those. I did look at
yeah.
those.
Financials are sent weekly in the news.
Don't worry about that, baby. We're getting there.
Good thing I got Co up in here today, honestly. Good thing I got Co here today, because if
No, I love that. Okay, so big goals and big dreams, and that's exciting. But along with that comes big challenges. We did talk about the financials, and we can't dig into those. So before we do, though, one thing that strikes me is, and I've talked to many people in the ecosystem, and I can see arguments both ways. But you have two different tokens and 20,000 NFTs. Tell me about how you manage the difference between the tokens, and you have 20,000 NFTs. That's a lot. How do you think about the benefits and the costs of being in this with this kind of
60,000?
What?
Right?
Yeah, so we actually have 60,000 NFTs in the eco. Between the membership pass 20K, Rug Radio Genesis NFT 20K, and then the Face of Web3 is 20K. And then
I didn't think about Face of Web3. I forgot that too.
Yeah, so and we have two ERC7. So we have three ERC7 21Ms, and we have two ERC20s, which are RDAO and ORAG. And you know what? As a matter of fact, until most recently, hell yeah, this was way too complicated of a model, and we're very well aware. But however, the bigger Rug Radio gets, and the more revenue is starting to flow through the DAO, and the bigger the network is building through these creators, to these core team members, to the network participants, the more that dual token, everything we're doing is starting to make sense. Why?
How?
Because look at ENS, ApeCoin, and Optimism, or every other governance token that was airdropped to you, right? Everybody only cared about having it. I love making 10K off ENS and like over 100K on, right? That's all I cared about. Do you care about voting on the ENS DAO or the ApeCoin DAO? Have you ever done it? No. Okay, cool. So have you ever swapped Rug for Rug DAO? Any of you two?
No.
Okay, so Bernie has. Bernie, by swapping, because you were invested by swapping in a token and you can't swap back for now, were you like emotionally invested to vote? Like, did you vote? Like, don't answer as like someone who works at Rug Radio. Did you want to vote because you had this token?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get as much as possible too. So once I did it the first time, yeah, I'm 100% invested, and it makes you care more, right? It makes you contribute, get in there and talk with the DAO.
What does the DAO vote on?
So here's why there's a dual token, OG, is because it's intentional governance. Because once you swap 1800 Rug that you've yielded for a year into Rug DAO, you actually are emotionally invested into voting and partaking in the governance. And what do you vote on? Honestly, everything. Every 6 months, we present a long range plan that's $1 million to $1,025,000, $1 to $1.25 million long range plan that we could present to the community. That means we show them everything, and Loxley can go over that with you after. But it's like, our financials for the last quarter. We do quarterly reports. How much we're planning on making, what we're doing, how much, like the breakdown, how much is going to events, creators, like everything, And then the community gets to vote on that. So that's to me like it's almost like a vote of confidence every 6 months. Like, yes, we trust that you can take $1 million from a DAO wallet to another wallet in the DAO, mind you. Everything's transparent and on chain. No wallets are doxed, right? They're all in the wiki. And so you're able to do that. And then we vote on like community grants. We vote on the ability to have what was it, Lox? Like the Rug token that's going to be usable in the probably nothing zero app. That is a sick app on the App Store, which gives you notifications on like all your NFT projects and stuff, so you don't have to bother. And like they got a grant, and it requires 0 ETH or USDC because they just need Rug token. And so things like that. So people have been building on top of Rug Radio using that, right? And Loxy, I mean, I'll give it to you. Like, what else has been voted on? You know, like you've been pushing
everything.
Hard. Good.
Oh, for sure. So I've been just like for reference, I've been building. It's been over a year that I've been building within RugDAO, which is pretty fucking crazy to think about. The DAO, I mean, like literally everything from what we're able to do as a core team, all the way through some of these different initiatives that are community driven. So Farokh mentioned Probably Nothing, which is a unique community project. They came. Members of the community, our DAO token holders came in and made that proposal. We have a prop house, which we pulled the tech from Nouns DAO, so that anybody within Rug Radio, when we launch these rounds, can come in and say, "Hey, I want to create a
prop
marketing collateral." Yeah, any proposal for marketing collateral or participation in events, whatever it is. You can propose it, and you can be voted on, and people can participate in building the ecosystem, really proliferating the brand of Rug Radio. And then there's a lot more. There's fundamentally there's governance. Think about it like politics, where we have to have sound rules, bylaws, and those have gone through some iterations, and the community truly decides what that's going to be. It's not Farokh, it's not me, it's not anyone from the core team deciding how that's going to change.
It's interesting. I was like a DAO maxi a year ago and spent a lot of time talking to lawyers and then operating in different DAOs. I do think Rug Radio's unique relative to many other DAOs, which are completely paralyzed and the incentives are misaligned. Like you get a treasury.
You airdrop people governance, but the premise that all they care about is money. Whereas with us, it's intentional. So that's why. And by the way, like going back to your main question, like that's a challenge. Like having so many tokens is one of the biggest challenges of Rug Radio. You know how many times as a founder, that's way before Lox's days coming into Rug Radio, he was at that time just like that guy with a lot of rugs to me. Like I was like, wow, it's this cool guy, smart with his friends. Like they have hundreds of rugs, so I'm gonna make sure I cater to them and respect them and like hear them out. No, seriously, like this the vibes. Like you gotta cater people who support you like that, right? Like whether you have 1 rug or 500 rugs, you're the same person to me. But if you have a lot of rugs, you bet your ass that I'm gonna make sure that you really like.
Of course, you have to spend more time on it.
Yeah, like it was dope. Like we got to spend a lot of time with 1K in Austin. We managed to get him a consensus pro pass because he didn't have one. We managed to come in. He was at dinner. We were having dinner with the team. Like he came with us. Like like I want to show these people respect because they believed in me when a lot of people fucking didn't. Right. And so it is complicated first, and it's a challenge. But I think with time, like as you see this flow from Rug to Rug DAO token, as you see more utility being made on the Rug token. And by the way, when the tech that Loxley is dropping for Rug Radio Q2, 3, and 4 is launching, that is going to show you guys the vehicle and the vessel for Rug token, and it's going to show you also everything for the content. So we just need to make sure we're building on top of the respective assets. When the creator and every the whole tech launches, you're gonna finally understand why I've been saying just keep
let's dig into that, and I want to hear Loxley on this. Farokh, I know, and we had a question: is DAO similar to co-op corp? I'm not familiar with a co-op corp. A DAO versus different. So yeah, they're different. Generally, for those of you who may not have researched this, DAOs are only currently recognized in one state in the U.S. There's a lot of implied legal partnership. If you enter a DAO with others and you vote, it's deemed to be potentially a legally risky situation. I think obviously Farokh and Loxley have spent a lot of time in the way they're running it is literally best of the best. But I would tell most people that DAOs are highly misunderstood, typically not a good structure for a startup organization that has to move quickly. And most of them end up with a ton of biases. Like Farokh said, you drop some tokens, I've been in them. the first thing they want to do is buy an NFT for 1 ETH. And then by the end of it, your treasure's 160 ETH. They spent 90 ETH on one thing and blow themselves up. And so legally, unlike any other formal corporation in America, there's almost no clarity. Only one state recognized it. So as of now, DAO is illegal as a structure to finance and build companies is definitely at the very, very, very far front with, and you have to handle it. I think Farokh and Loxley are doing a ton, but this is an area. So Lox, I know that if you look at the history of Farokh, I feel like you built with his team and you've been such as like a trooper and like kill for this fucking thing. And I know there's been points in the past where you had a team and maybe the team didn't stick with you in the fashion one would think and left you in a position that might be difficult. I would like if you could sort of review the history and Lox. You know, you're in a position that's often, I'm going to just be frank. Like, look, if you think of Rug Radio, tell me if this is wrong. There's basically the talent agency side and there's the rest of the business, the tech platform, the decentralized media, and so on.
Yeah.
The talent side, we'll get into the economics and how easy those are versus this other side. Why don't you, Lox and Farokh, tell us how this vision of the tech platform, there's been a few stub toes. Where are we today and why should we believe, I know, but tell our audience, why should we believe that you can get this done? Why is it possible to achieve this big thing?
Give me one quick second. Let me answer Michael really quickly to clarify. So co-ops, the biggest value of a co-op is the ability to redistribute revenue and assets to participants, to basically the limited partners, the LPs within that co-op. Co-ops can be an instrumentality of DAOs that can be adopted, and they have to be done currently, if you're going to do them in the US, through Colorado. I've been steeped in DAOs since 2018, so I'm in my 5th year of DAOs. What I will tell you is conversations have happened where we've looked at what are the potential implications of adopting the co-op model? What are the implications of other things? And where's regulation going to come in the future, the next 4 or 5 years, that allow us to be recognized within the US and to be able to participate in returning monetary value without running afoul of the SEC's regulations around equity, non-accredited investors, and all of that. So co-ops, be careful when anyone comes in and tells you that their DAO is a co-op. You want to make sure that there's plenty of documentation and proper legal structures around that. And you will hear those get really confused a lot. But think of RugDAO as currently an organization where your voice and your ownership of the DAO tokens helps lead and guide the direction as we're in the brand building phase for Rug Radio and RugDAO. So that's where we're at right now currently. In the future, who knows where that goes, but that's where we're at. Now, going back to OG's question, we truly
fucking badass.
Yeah, well, just so you guys know, we very consciously split the business down the middle in terms of media, and then operations and obviously tech and all that falls into that operations side of Rug Radio. We, Farokh as a CEO really takes charge on the media side, and I'll let him talk more to that. But you're right, there's this aspect of talent management, and that kind of bleeds into the future vision, which is a little bit of alpha here. The future vision truly is supply side ad network, where Rug Radio as an entity is the trusted source with relationships for large brands that want to engage in impact advertising, and Rug Radio as the congregator and aggregator of talent within not just the Web3 space, but globally. And using,
I mean, you'll go out and get big sponsorships and ads, and you'll basically get cool creators and pay them that way. Is that dumb guy talk?
Yeah. Nailed it. Exactly that. We currently, we're in a phase where in the future, we truly want to be decentralized. Farokh said progressive decentralization, so that anybody can create within the Rug Radio ecosystem. But we're in a very critical phase right now where we have to build brand recognition. We have to build validation and authority. And so we have to be a little bit picky about who we partner with, both in terms of sponsorships and creators, to make sure we're creating the highest quality content possible.
But Lox, how about building all this tech? Hey, Farokh, hop in.
No. Go ahead, please. I'm listening.
No, I'm just gonna let him. So, just for everyone listening, how he talks is how somebody who runs a DAO should talk. How you listen to all those fucking idiots in Discord talk should indicate, if you hear, not to be rude, and I never say, but you can tell if somebody like me or Loxley has talked to counsel, understands securities law, understands what's issuing a security, this is highly complex shit. And unless you have somebody doing this, I'm telling you, these DAOs are mostly exposing you to a ton of legal risk. And not that so I think it's and you need thoughtful stuff like this. So Lox, though, you came in this tech platform. We're taking so actually what I'd like to do is, before we jump back to the tech platform, is say, so the part of the business, the financials are clear and available. And if you look at what you guys have done, it's roughly 3 or 4 shows. But right now, I understand the vision of Farokh is a huge contributor, but not everything. Farokh, Mando, OSF, Thread Guy, and The Night Show, and maybe some upcoming other things. But for example, if you look at the business itself, the GM show has made upwards of 300 ETH, maybe 400 ETH. You guys took that and, God bless your fucking soul, bought back 1,000 NFTs, and you guys took none of that money to pay yourselves or put in your pocket. And I said, you guys are fucking way more generous than me, because so let's tie back to the amount of NFTs and where the money's made. So if you're a guy who just likes to look at businesses, and the audience, this isn't unusual. Every business makes a ton of money somewhere, and then it's like, yo, we got to take that money and do a bunch of other shit and make money there.
Let me walk you through. Yeah, let me walk you through the mental state in this whole thing. So Farokh, Ovi, and Mando, you said 300 ETH, and that was like at the end of the year. If you look now, the number
like 600 grand or something, right?
The numbers. I mean, we've closed just in the last quarter, hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue, and we have pending deals for even more. We truly the operational revenue that we generate is just starting to, but it's truly significant compared to what we see in the NFT space. We truly believed, and Farokh can speak to this because it was his decision. We truly believed that there was a few different things, the implications from a social level within the Web3 space, where floor price means everything. We wanted to make sure that we were able to buoy the value of the ecosystem, that we were able to give back. When we're bringing in sponsors, those sponsors are buying your time as an audience member from you. And if you need liquidity, Farokh, Ovi, and Mando provided you that liquidity by buying those tokens back and basically redistributing. What they did is they took all the sponsorship income and they redistributed it back to the people who bought into Rug Radio. Now, I'll tell you this. We sold Rug Radio, the NFTs, January of last year, which was peak of the bull market. And you had a lot of people, let's talk about misaligned incentives. You had a lot of people that bought in because they saw Farokh and his cachet, his gravitas, and everybody, it doesn't matter whether it was their intent, they thought this is going to go, this is going to fucking run. And so they bought to make money. Is that the reason we want people to buy into Rug Radio? Probably not, right? What we really want is we want people like Bernie who are buying in to be DAO participants.
Bernie. Just kidding.
We want people like berndawgler who are buying in to be market participants that really want to change the future of what media is and where the value accrues. And so we went through this period where anyone who sold over the last year most likely sold because they either needed liquidity or they weren't necessarily aligned with what we're trying to do long term, or they sold to get in and they'll get back in later. But the point is that the new holders and the new entrants are starting to understand. In this bear market, we're building with people who understand what we're trying to do long term, and that's a much more stable holder base than people just looking for ROI.
Yeah, it's fun. Actually, by the way, it's not 1,000 NFTs, mind you. It's almost 1,300. So we've bought back 580 rugs. We've bought back 580 rugs, and then we've bought back 680 PFPs. And just wait until my Pepe trade is done.
You know exactly how many it is. That's a good sign.
Wait until my Pepe trade is done, and I'm gonna fucking destroy that. that floor, bro. I'm gonna go so fucking crazy. I don't care. I will buy back all 20,000 NFTs once I have to. I don't care. Like if I had all the money in the world, I would put a permanent bid wall, like a bottom, like for like 10,000 units, 20,000 units on Blur. And because like I am bullish on us like no other, and I think that's how it should be. But like, do you know the reason we did this is because we wanted to like support the eco, and like Rug Radio Gem Web3 is the anchor of Rug Radio for now. It's not always going to be. And it was important. It was the only monetized show. I'm Creator 001. When you think about 002, 003, it's almost like it's Mando and Novi. They're not quite 2 and 3, but they're up there. And they're you know, and then we built out Rect Radio out of that, and Gen Web 3 out of
Who
that.
is 2 and 3?
I don't know. It's like a bunch of people that were early. Like you had like a bunch of people that were like creators with us very, very early on. But it's just like, you know, and now we're building more IPs and more people. And like this morning we had a meeting with like our tier 5 creators because we're helping a lot of them like get monetized. We just got 3 ETH free sponsorship from one of our other creators. Dude, like 3 ETH is fucking like $6,000, man. Like this ain't no joke. Like you pay to DAO what you owe DAO because there's a partnership framework that says like 15% of your partnerships at Rug Radio Creator go to the DAO. That's something that was written by community elected DAO council, and it was community voted for this. It's not Farokh that says it's 15% arbitrary. It's the people that voted for this. And on top of that, there's a 10% cut. On top of that, if Rug Radio gets the deal, so we keep 25%, 75. Creators happy. Creators makes great content, and on and on and on. We're able to empower them all around the world, and we're building that. Like we've been doing this for multiple creators, so it started as just us. So that revenue, those numbers you guys were talking about, and we needed to support the floor. It's in a time where, you know, Rug Radio was at its slowest time. Shit was not doing good. I was solo. Like I had to bring in. I brought in Loxley, Mike, and Mando in one day. I called all of them.
Yeah, that's good.
July 26th, 2023 to 2022. I picked up the phone. I called one of them. I called Mando first, and I called Kriak. Then I called my man Loxley, and I was like, within like 4 hours, because I can now call each, like something like that. And then like I said, do you want to be an advisor Rug Radio and help me build the whole company and the brand? And they were like, yes, was the answers. A Discord was made that same night for Rug Radio Ops, and then now there's like 70 people in that Ops Discord between employees, team members, so it's like 15 to 20 to like collaborators to people we outsource work to, because we hire like 15, 20 people, but we also like genuinely like put money in the pockets of like 50 plus people, which is super cool. I put in that way because for me, like something I respect a lot about people is when they put money in my pocket, because that's what I feed myself with. No, seriously, that's why I put like I have a little.
I'm with you. I 100%.
It's what I put a roof over my head with. It's important, right? And so I'm very big on like actually managing to do so for other people, and I've done that all my life because it comes back anyways, right? It's like abundance mindset. And so like when you talk about this revenue stuff, this is how it is. And look, like, you know, you see it like there's a burn rate, and it's not a small burn rate. And so obviously like we're planning on ending the year
like years of cash.
We're planning on ending the year in negative burn, but like this is how a company is run, and that's why I have Loxley.
You've only burned like under 600 grand, 300 grand.
Not even
and your revenue is radically increasing. It's, you know, I looked at the numbers, and relative to a lot of other Web3 companies, let me tell you, you're not even on the radar on that burn. Okay, we have time for a couple more questions. I want to ask both of you, one of the things that's always interesting, sitting here today, looking back, what is the one thing that you didn't do that you wish you had? That's what's called like an error of omission. Like, you know, I could have done this thing, I didn't. And then what did you do that you wish you hadn't?
In Rug Radio?
Yeah, bro. You know, looking back, what should you have done? What was an opportunity you missed? And then what is something you did do that you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that?
I'll answer first on the thing. Dude, honestly, it's one and the same answer. This is gonna sound very interesting. There's some key players behind the scenes that really have changed the forecast and the outlook, and not just in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of revenue. And we go back to the tech platform. What we're building in terms of tech isn't just an infrastructural thing.
Can you tell people what that is? What tech platform?
Let me talk to you really quickly about like when I'm talking about revenue. We have 2 platforms. When you think about like a learn to earn platform, and we think about that as, you can think about it very rudimentarily as a platform that's going to allow us to distribute the same content that we're creating. not a whole lot of potential revenue associated with that. Well, what we've done is we've completely shifted that into an entire new product, entire new model for generating revenue and creating value for the market participants. The revenue, and I say this, and like Farokh like can take offense to it, but the revenue that we're going to create through our LMS and Learn to Earn is going to dwarf what we're able to do.
LMS, learning management system, is that LMS?
Yep.
Yeah, you're using. I built the learning management. That's dope. Okay.
So yeah, so we built proprietary tech, and so going back to it, we built this tech, and then we have this creator portal that looks infrastructurally like just sustaining, but when you guys see in coming period the tech and the tooling and everything that we use, it's not just to support creators. There's a massive economic opportunity associated with it, and like everyone will learn more in coming weeks, and it'll blow your minds.
It's enduring.
But but the creator portal is going to be like, it's arguably
crazy.
it's more exciting than even this. But with
Why don't you guys, when a creator signs up, why don't you have like packages? Like one of the big great experiences I had with Farokh professionally was when he came into the first creators call I was on, and I really got to see that side of him, like supporting and being available to creators. Why wouldn't you guys, as part of this platform, like let's say Berndawgler and I blow up, and when we first sign up, we can, like, one of the things in that Jessica was doing was like, hey, here's the equipment. Why not have it where people can send you something? You send them the starter package for their home audio setup, start getting ready, tell them an outline for how sponsors. I feel like that's a huge opportunity.
Just chill for a minute, and you'll have exactly what you're asking for. legitimately, you nailed the future of some of the utility that we're trying to create for creators. Yeah,
it's coming soon.
Soon. Yeah. Going back to the mistake though, this isn't meant to create waves or cause problems, but we held on to some things. We fell victim to sunk costs. And sunk cost theory is like really dangerous as a founder. And
why do you tell people what that is so they all know? I think everyone knows. But
you get to this point where you invest so much financially and emotionally into something, and you're convinced that it needs to work because you're so far into it that you continue to dump more and more, not only money, but time and human resources.
Yeah, rather than evaluating the perspective, like, hey, I'm putting in $100, I wouldn't do this. If I didn't currently own it or I hadn't spent the money, would I do this?
So that's the trap that we fell into with kind of the original tech platform that we were trying to build, and we didn't iterate. It was destined for failure because the core business wasn't established the way that it needed to be, and so there was a lot of elements missing, and we fell prey to scope creep, to all these different things changing in this build of the software. And it started like this, and it ended up going like, it went like a snake. It was bad. We should have cut that off a lot sooner and should have moved a lot quicker. The best decision that I think, as an executive at Rug Radio that I've made was to lean on someone that I had a great relationship with and I knew was capable. G-Man, who's part of this. I can't, honestly, he has been one of the best advisors on how to continue building what we're trying to build. And then he also has the team and the technical expertise to help us execute on some really tall orders. And we should have made that move way sooner.
Farokh, anything to add on either of those?
It's all true. It's all well said. I mean, I do the same. I'm not a big I'm not really big on what would you change if you went back? And
yeah, I get that.
Oh, because I wouldn't change anything, as a matter of fact, or else I wouldn't be here. I think because you have to go through these things.
Yep.
Right. So it's like
That's why I don't say what would you change. It's more like what did you do that had a different impact? Maybe.
I mean, throughout my entire life, though, I've always I'm so nice that I've always empowered the wrong people. Not always, but it's very often I fall into that, and so it is what it is, But I've also empowered the right people, and that outweighs everything. It's like when it's like haters to lover ratio. There's maybe 100 vocal haters, but there's probably 10,000, 20, 30,000 people that want us to keep pushing. So it's so I don't care. So it's just it's just empowering the people that didn't necessarily, had the same intentions, but besides that, and a lot of the times, listen, that's the cost of being founded. Like a lot of money goes into places and people sometimes like fuck. Like I'm not gonna name names because it's not right. It's unethical and it's unfair. But I think whether it's things or tools or people, like it happens. It's just cost doing business, man. You
Yeah,
live
I
along the way.
agree.
You hire the wrong people. Like I'm 28. You're fucking years old, dude. Like I like this is crazy. Like when I look back, like I'm 28, 15 months in. We have a media brand that is at the one of the hottest media platforms in the entire space, and that is in a space that is at the edge, the cutting edge of media and tech. So we're literally at the forefront of media. And I'm not saying this in an arrogant way. I'm saying this because this is
No, it's
every
facts,
day,
bro.
and
It's
it's
facts.
facts. And they write about us, and you can read that on Decrypt, on
Yeah,
CoinDesk, on these other platforms.
yeah.
And so
Look at the brands coming to you, bro. I mean,
yeah, and so it is what it is, but I think that's all it is. Just gotta do your thing. You just gotta keep going. So I wouldn't have changed anything necessarily, but I also like, you just gotta acknowledge the mistakes and just keep going with them.
that's right, and learn. That's it. What I always say is the job. We're all going to make mistakes every day. It's how fast you respond and just adjust and move on. The idea you're not going to make mistakes is an absurd concept. And so your ability to cope with mistakes and quickly get back up and move forward is actually one of the biggest determinants of your success.
That's it. That's all it is. It's all
Yeah,
about being able to like put people up in a good
yeah,
position. And like you look like the same way you empower wrong people, then like also I empowered like Loxley and
yeah.
like Ando.
And look, bro, we all do our best. So as we wrap up, I'd love to end on a positive note. What are you guys most hyped about, both for the company and then generally as players in the space, leaders in the space, active collectors? You touch a ton of the space. So what are you excited about for Rug Radio? And I know times are hard and, many artists are facing difficult times. And I know a lot of us are trying to figure out how to ensure that, this market is sustainable. What are you guys most focused on for Rug Radio and excited about? And then looking at the NFT market, even though there's a lot of noise, what are you super hyped about?
Do you want to go? Or do you want me to go? Because I have a lot to say. Because I like hyped about is everything.
I'll go quickly, and then I'll let you finish out on that. With Rug Radio, the stuff that I'm most hyped about, I can't talk about, which is unfortunate. But I will say I'm excited to see the ecosystem mature. I'm excited to see.
You give people a timeline when you can talk about it.
Give us some time.
Give us a vibe, bro. Give us some alpha.
I'm excited to see the ecosystem mature and excited for scalability because truly, like we're getting to the point. I always preach revenue. Operational revenue is everything. Obviously, like we have to be cash flow positive, and we will be there soon. Once we get to that point, our run rate's indefinite, and we're in this position where I think in the early adoption curves, these nascent industries, staying power is 50% plus of the battle. And, those who survive will eventually thrive. In terms of, the greater ecosystem, what I'm most excited about, berndawgler and I actually had this conversation via Twitter very briefly. I like to think that a lot of my friends will look back and be like, oh, it was so obvious. But I think truly that if we as infrastructure builders in the space do our jobs carefully and well, they'll never know, right? Like we're building a better tomorrow that's more decentralized, that's more frictionless, that's deflationary, that's easier and smoother, and allows for a redistribution and democratization of wealth, knowledge, opportunity. And there's no real reason that anybody will know what this underlying tech layer is or what it does. It'll just be carefully integrated, seamlessly integrated into their lives. And I'm really excited for this, like genuinely this opportunity that Farokh has given me to create a better tomorrow for everybody, for our kids, and it sounds super idealistic and, but truly like that's what motivates me in the morning.
Bro, it's genuine. Farokh.
Yeah, I don't think it's idealistic. I think it's real because we're doing it. And you'll it'll hit you, and like you got to do it this for a year to be like, oh shit, okay, yeah, it ain't idealistic anymore. Like I genuinely don't idealize over the fact like we're doing it. It's like we're actually doing it. And what excites me is that just to keep growing, and keep empowering people. Like this is and having fun. Like I'm having so much fun. You know, I'm just a little tired today. I'm sorry. It's Friday. You know, like we put 16-hour days generally every
bro.
day.
I mean, I'm up with you. It's fucking.
Like, you know, creator calls all day. Actually, I have another 3 calls to end the day, and it's Friday. Like it's just like, and tomorrow morning another creator call. I mean, you guys will be on it, I'm sure. The monthly Saturday call. Like it's just like we're putting in like 80-hour weeks. Like it's not a meme. Like we're actually putting 80-hour weeks, and you know, and it's just like I'm excited for everything we got going on, from like the big brand partnerships to the Web3 native stuff to the tech that's rolling out sooner than any of you listening think. You know, to the events, dude. The events we're going to, like Lisbon's gonna be crazy, VCon's gonna be insane, and everywhere we go, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Like in New York, people coming to Farokh, like RugRoast everywhere. In Austin, Texas, yo, like you guys are doing good. You're everywhere. Like I'm starting to finally get those like comments in private by the big CEOs, the big CMOs, this acknowledgement that we've been working so hard to get. You don't work for acknowledgement. It's not my goal ever, never has been. However, you know what, dude? You got to admit it feels good.
Well, you hear a lot of bad. I always tell people it's okay. Most people hear a lot of bad all day. It's important to get, when things are good and you're doing well, to get positive feedback.
Listen. Like there was a point in time where I was paying way too much attention to all the drama, and like people are like, dude, like why do you pay attention to it? You're so above. I'm like, yeah, but, and like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like you're above the shit. You're like, do you know who you are? And I was like, I bet. Like Mando literally, like at some point, like virtually sat me down on WhatsApp and was like, listen, motherfucker. He's like, you're building $1 billion company. He's like, I need you to shut the fuck up and do the thing. And I was like, I bet. He's like, I'm going to move to Canada. I'm going to put you in a cabin and you're not going to be able to move for like. And then he tweeted that, and I was like, I mean, honestly, I would love that. With Mando 3 years in cabin, I'll come out a billionaire. But you know, shit, you know. But you know that, you know, man.
Bro, I think in the last year, realistically, and again, we're all real talk.
It's so different,
You've
but
done a great job. You've
no,
done a
but
great job in the last year.
It is. You just gotta keep growing and keep going. So I'm excited for everything at the same time. Like it's just, there's a lot, and when it hits, it's gonna hit. And when that bull market's gonna hit, like that bull, and listen, like you know me, I'm a perma bull, but like you know, it's like it's gonna be big. Like some of the brands are gonna be at the forefront and the helm of this movement. Like we're one of those, and I find that hype. You know.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, we love having you on the show. Burn Dog, anything you want to say before we wrap up? Logs, Farokh, anything you guys want to?
We got to rate. We got to rate them, bro.
You gotta rate us, dude.
Oh, we got to rate the project. Oh, yeah.
You rate first.
And then they rate me.
You guys can rate OG too.
You know, real talk. Last year when I first got introduced to the project, it was through OSF and DJs. And I just didn't know what to make, make of it. And I was at a different phase of how I looked at the market. And Farokh, I didn't know. And I was just like, oh, this guy's like super important in the market and he has a mixed reputation. Then I got to know both like the story of Rug Radio, and honestly coming into today, like because of my other interests, I'm very like active in OSF. I'm involved in Rug, but not anywhere near the same way. And obviously as a creator, and through that experience, I started to develop, and then I got to know Lox and Farokh and hang out a bunch in person. And I started to understand, like, I always think you're first betting on people. And so today what I'd say is like, look, you know me, I will fucking just say whatever I think. And so this is me saying exactly what I think. I continue to be more and more impressed with these two dudes, and their success becomes less and less surprising. Lox today, you could hear how he talked on these matters. It's not a guy who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. You can look at Farokh's success. To me, success in one thing can be, I've met so many people who are even billionaires who just got one lucky thing. One lucky thing doesn't tell me whether you're a real performer. 3 different things in 3 different fields. And if you show success after success, and I think like, look, trying to decode why somebody's been able to be so successful in a social media setting is hard. But I think the more you listen to Farokh and the more you see what he's trying to do, and like, look, no joke, I think these guys are fucking, I can't believe they took all that money and didn't take any of it. Like, I'm not that generous. I'd be like, yo, I got fucking 4 kids and I need some fucking money to show up to work every day. Can you imagine making 400 ETH and not taking any of it? So I think these are things like when you hear people talk some shit, which behind a keyboard, like they think they're tough, like, yo, I have a million mistakes and I can't, and I mean, and I'm the first to admit them. So I think you have to look at what's happening here. And I'll tell you, like, I just look at evidence and I look at whether I think people can, and as I said, nobody can tell me if somebody else is good. Like when I went into Farokh OSF, was like, he's a good guy. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. And same with Lox. I don't know. And so what I'd say is, I think listening to them today, when you hear people talk and you see the results, I mean, look, we're on their platform. We wanted to have a show. And guess what? I used to do spaces. We're on this platform. And so what I'd say is, so that's all the positive. And I'd say the positive is more positive than I thought. I'm probably concerned about this complex ecosystem. I think I hear what they're saying, but I think having 2 tokens and 60,000 NFTs, bro, it's hard to manage like 100 NFTs, 500. And so I don't like that part. I think like if they could fresh start it today, okay. I think like if you could fresh start today, you'd prefer not. Like I get they're going to make it work because like these are guys who will work for a year for no pay. They've shown you that. They'll make it work, but like, would I rather not have to fucking deal with that? Yeah. Number 2, I think it sounds to me we're going to get evidence now. But coming in, I was like, look, this talk of like a platform and a tech platform, like show me what, where, when, how, why, and why do they need to do all that? I'd say I'm much more convinced, but I got to see like what actually comes, because like Loxley said, we're going to see it. But what they're talking about, and I have insights from talking, I do a lot of work to understand. I think these motherfuckers are going to get it. I just got to see it. And then I think, look, right now you have key person risk. If Farokh, OSF, Mando, like now Lox, more, a couple people, like, this is standard. This is where this business is. But if Farokh got disappeared somehow, you're not going to be happy you're involved. At this point, it's a game changer in value, and so that makes it riskier. Look, I think the vision, mission, I'm super inspired by it. So I think, look, this is a very high rating project. I can't historically adjust my ratings. My first ratings for the projects on the first show, I wasn't ready. The last shows I've rated most things much lower because my view is 99% of NFTs are zeros. I think you have an established, very successful project. So I rate that very high, like 9.2. The problem I don't know is what to buy and how to make money based on this stack. And so I would say that's the part that's harder for me. Like, do I buy I love Corey Van Loo, man. I sat next to him at Carbone. Motherfuckers as cool as they come. Cool as fuck. But do I buy that? Or do I buy RDAO? Or do I buy Rug? Do I buy Genesis Rug? And so I think that's the only part, like, of...
You get the Genesis Rug.
Yeah. And the way I'm doing it is, look, my bet is, I'm talking to you.
That's what I want to be max bidding, bro.
I'm talking to you from a RugRoast, Rug Radio show. That's the other way I'm investing.
Let me say it. If you're coming at Rug Radio from a flipper mentality, trying to make a quick return, it's not gonna serve you well. If you look at us and you want to invest in the team and what we're building long term, like you would, anything else, a long-term bet saying, I believe that there's stability here and that we're going to do great things, you're going to be approaching it. You're going to be a lot more happy. It's always, and I preach this, G-Man will tell you, I preach this all the time. It's about expectations versus reality. Right. And we're not, you might buy Nakabozos for 0.03 and then have it run up to 0.75.
Bro.
but we're not a gambling organization. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not.
Yeah, you're building a real business here.
So you're at a 9.2?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think
that's the best rating we've had yet. All right, so I'm going to try not to lose my job here. From a long-term perspective, like in making money perspective, I agree with them. You see people like OSF, Mando, Tucker, Jesuit, some of the smartest people I know just stacking as much as they possibly can. Right. The tech being built is insane. I can't say anything about it, but it's really impressive. So I have an inside look that you don't. At the same time, it's an actual business, man. I mean, and in the NFT space, you're not seeing this at all. Like it's a fucking business, and bringing in revenue and growing. So with that said, I still have to be honest and true to the show. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, which is
Oh,
there's nothing you could change.
fucking guy.
Perfect. I'm giving it a 10.
Oh man, no.
What a joy. Sorry, Lox. Go ahead, buddy.
I was gonna say let's have a follow up in like maybe like 6 or 8 weeks, and let's do this again and come at us with some harder questions too. Like I welcome.
Those weren't hard enough.
I mean, no, it was good, but like truly, like there's some flaw. Like any organization, there's
What
flaws.
did we miss? If you think, because I thought, tell me what we should have asked that we didn't.
I'm not gonna give you that that easy.
Oh, buddy.
But what I will say though is like again, like there's if you're looking at it and you're trying to be hard, there's always questions that can be asked, and like we'll follow up. But aside from just the rug roast, like let's do another space and talk about it. At the end of the day, all of your concerns, OG, extremely valid. What I would say about like the risk with key persons and the potential for loss there is that any startup that's trying to do something 100%. Larger than trading commodities has that issue. And you know, eventually we'll scale to a point where Farokh can be obsolete. That is in our immediate future. And so we totally recognize that.
I'm on the other side on this one. I think like people are everything, and every business, no matter what, if the key people aren't creating huge value, then you're at risk. Like look at the NBA. Those are all the best players in the world, but there's a bell curve, and all the value in history from Jordan to, you know, fucking now, like the most extreme players, the best players create 20 times the value. And so I think every company has to be realistic. It's just how bad is the impact of it. And now it's bad, but like you guys started with this 4 years from now, it hopefully won't be bad.
Yeah, I mean, look at Condé Nast, or look at SiriusXM, or look at HBO. If you know, can you name their founders and CEOs? And two, if they died in a freak bus accident or whatever, would that materially impact them? And they're at a stage of their growth where it wouldn't. We just aren't right now, which is totally fine.
Oh, bro, I thought that was good. So, okay, well, super appreciate it. This is super fun for me to just have one. And I didn't think we were softballing. I thought we were coming in. So, Lox, now I'm going to fucking come at you next time.
Let's go.
There's a reason why I didn't lead it.
Fucking coming. Super appreciate you guys. What a joy. Thank you so much. And love to have you on the show.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Right. Thanks, guys. Later.
All right. Oh, we're still live, right?
I'm just gonna play our song one more time, and then we'll end it.
Let's go.
Peace out, y'all.